Well, anybody hears what it is? I'm going to turn the volume down a bit. I got inspiration some time ago when I saw other record collectors in the vinyl community who collect classical music on vinyl, and I think that's kind of fun because, well, I do have quite a lot of classical music on vinyl, although I'm not that much of collecting expensive, rare editions of Mercury living presence and stuff like that. It's more the music I'm interested in, and of course you can find quite good recordings for almost nothing these days. So I walked down to my record shelves and had a look. I thought, well, what about me picking one different LP with every classical classical composer that I've got, and showed you here favorite LP from each classical composers. In some cases it's very easy because I only have one LP with this composer. In other cases it was almost impossible to pick one. And then I realized, I have more composers in my collection than I thought I had. So this might be a very long video, or I have to maybe make it in 2 or maybe in 3 different parts. We'll see. And I'll go from A to W and show you favorite record with each composer. I don't know if I got so much time to talk that much about it, but maybe mention what label it is and so on. So, shall we start? I think so. Let's start with, I don't even remember what I picked now, so let's see what this is. Albinoni. Well, Adagio por chord and orgue. Chord, that must be French. Sorry about that. Well, it's also Mozart and Schubert on this recording. It's a French HMV, but it's the Albinoni musical piece that I enjoy here, Adagio. It's got the red HMV label. It's from the 1970s, I think. Orchestre de la Société de Concert de Conservatoire. Direction Alain Lombard. So that's where we start today. Albinoni. Next record. This one. The one I'm playing in the background. It's, well, I've talked about him before, the Swedish composer Hugo Alfvén. The thing you are listening to now is Festspel. This is a very popular classical LP, and now on CD as well, with Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra, and also with the the Kungliga Hovkapellet. And one of the recordings on this LP is the first Swedish stereo recording, and that is Midsommarvaka. This is Festspel, recorded in 1957, and the next track is Midsommarvaka from 1954. The first, as far as I know, the first Swedish stereo recording. This was released. Well, it's been released several times. This is a release on Swedish Society Discophile. Then Johann Sebastian Bach. He's a genius. What do I pick? Well, I thought, well, what to pick. Well, then in the end, I decided to pick this. Glenn Gould. Bach, 2 and 3 part inventions, played by Glenn Gould. This is a record recorded 66 but released. It's a reissue, a budget reissue from 1983 on the CBS Records Masterworks label. I mean, Glenn Gould, also a genius. Okay. Now over to Russia, Balakirev. Different piano pieces played by Semen Krukhin. This is on the Soviet label Melodia from 1991, the end of the Soviet Union. I think the recordings are from 1988. I like the Melodia issues. They are often very, very good recordings. Okay, next one. Bear with me. Bela Bartók. It's a very nice issue. Complete edition, Bela Bartók. 10 easy pieces, 3 Hungarian folk songs from the Czech district, 14 bagatelles, played by Cornel Sempleni. How it's pronounced, I have no idea. On the Hungaroton label, so it's a Hungarian record. Well, what to pick? We come to Ludwig van Beethoven, and here's another one of these impossible to pick. No, it's not Beethoven at all. What happened to Beethoven? I forgot Beethoven. Wow. I forgot Ludwig van Beethoven, sorry. But he is among my favorite composers as well. No, we got Alban Berg here. Quite far away from Beethoven. It's a concerto for violin and orchestra, chamber concerto for violin, piano, and 13 wind instruments. Christian Ferras on violin, Pierre Bizet piano, the Paris Conservatoire Orchestra conducted by Georges Pretre. On HMV, it's a mono recording from 1964. How can I have missed picking out Beethoven? I think I couldn't even pick one. I think that's it. Right, over to Berlioz Symphony Fantastique, Piemonte Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra. On the London label, this is a reissue. It was recorded in 1968, but this is a reissue from 1977. And the London Treasury Series label. Some Swedish music. Franz Berwald. Symphony in G minor, Seriös. Symphony in C major, Singulier. The Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra conducted by Hans Schmidt Isenstedt on the Non-Such label. Non-Such often have quite interesting classical recordings by some not so famous composers. Berwald is fairly famous. Okay, over to Bizet and, well, Carmen. What else? Well, he's written other music too. I got other records with music by Georges Bizet, but this is a concert performance sung in French. So it's obviously not the whole opera, since it's just one LP here on the Saga label. We're still at B. I've been talking for 9 minutes. We're still at B, and we continue with B. We continue with Johannes Brahms. Bruno Walter conducting the Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra of New York, Symphony No. 4 in E minor, Opus 98. This is a Columbia Masterworks recording. Very nice. Lovely recording. Okay. Oh, there we have Beethoven. What on earth is he doing there? Here comes Beethoven. Well, it's number 5. Da 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 da. I've heard from my mother that I actually, as a little kid, walked around and sang da 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 da. Die fünfte Schicksalssymphonie. It's the Philharmonic Orchestra of London, conducted by Karajan. It's a wonderful cover with Karajan conducting here. It's EMI Columbia issue from. It's a German issue on a blue Columbia label like this. Right, back on track. Max Bruch, this is a 10-inch record. Violin Concerto number 1 in G minor, Opus 26 by Max Bruch on Imperial. Looks like this. From the 50s, obviously. And who's playing on it? It's Max Kaiser on violin and the Nordwestdeutsche Philharmonie dirigent, conducted by Wilhelm Schüchter on Imperial. Max Bruch. Okay, what do we have here? Wow, from Max Bruch to Anton Bruckner. It's Deutsche Grammophon Resonance, which I think was a reissue label in the 1970s with older recordings in new sleeves. Symphony number 9, Berliner Philharmoniker, conducted by Eugene Jochum. Recorded in 1966, but I think this issue is from the 70s. Now over to another strange name, Dietrich Buxtehude. We have here Buxtehude. Missa brevis, alles war ihr tut, was mich auf diese Welt betrübt. Magnificat in D. Played by... Oh, Missa brevis. Missa brevis and Magnificat in D are the name of the people who sings here. It's 2 cantatas by Buxtehude. Well, my mistake there. All with John Strauss, the organ and string ensemble, conducted by Alfred Mann. This is from 1962 on Saga. Okay. All right. Now finally we leave B and go over to C. Luigi Cherubini. He was active late 18th century, early 19th century. Requiem in C minor for choir and orchestra, played by the USSR Minister of Culture's Chamber Choir and Symphony Orchestra, art director Valery Polyansky, conductor Gennady Rojdestvensky. This is, of course, as you can see, it's a Melodia LP from 1985, I think, with the red Melodia label. Okay, what next? Oh, of course, Frédéric Chopin. And who to play Chopin if not Mr. Rubinstein himself? I've had this LP quite a long time. It's an RCA Victor, different polonaises and waltzes and mazurkas by Chopin, played by Rubinstein. It's a super album. Copland, Aaron Copland. Copland conducts Copland. You'd rarely see that with the old masters because they didn't have the possibility to do so, to conduct their own music. Although the music we hear in the background here is actually conducted by Hugo Alvén, the composer himself. So, anyway, Short Symphony, Dance Symphony, London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Aaron Copland. And what next? François Couperin, 4 Concert Royal, Thomas Brandis, Heinz Holger, Aurel Nicolet, Joseph Olsamer, Manfred Sachs, Christian Jacotet. It's an archive production, archive production resonance issue with music from the late 17th century, early 18th. Okay, what do we have here? Here we have an old vinyl. I have a special love for these quite really old vinyl issues. This is an old one from the Plymouth Record Corporation in New York. It's Dvorak, the New World Symphony. I've got several versions of the New World Symphony and other music by Dvorak as well, but I picked this Plymouth issue because I thought it was quite interesting. It's Vienna Tonkünstler Symphony Orchestra. Who's the conductor? It doesn't say. Does it say on the label? It looks like an old 78 RPM with a small label here. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say who the conductor is. That's quite weird. Alright, looks like this. Plymouth. And I'm quite sure this is from the 1950s sometime. This record looks actually as it could need a good cleaning. So I think I put that aside for now. Right. Time for some British music. Eddie the Eagle Elgar. Edward Elgar. Falstaff, Opus 68. Cockney Overture, Opus 40. London Philharmonic Orchestra and Daniel Barenboim. CBS issue from 1974. Okay, I do not have that many classical LPs from the 80s because during that time most record companies started with digital recordings, and digital recordings always sound better on CD. So, but this is, I think it's a digital recording. It's from the 80s anyway, you can tell it. It's Fauré, Requiem, Ellie Amelin, Bernard Kruysen, Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, Netherlands Radio Chorus. Jean Fournet is the conductor. Let's see, I think it's got this very typical Philips 80s label as well. Yeah, looks a bit like a CD. So, well, that's about it there. Okay, time for another 10-incher here. An early one. George Gershwin, this Columbia record, An American in Paris and Rhapsody in Blue. Artur Rodzinski conducting the Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra of New York, and Oscar Levant with Eugene Ormandy conducting the Philadelphia Orchestra. 33S 1003. I'm quite sure that this is quite an early vinyl record. It has this beautiful green label as well. Early 50s is my guess here. Okay, I think Hugo is beginning to get finished here. Right, but let's have a look at this next record first. It's Alexander Glazunov, The Seasons, Opus 67, the complete ballet. Boris Chaikin, Moscow Radio Symphony Orchestra. This is a Melodia recording, but a release for the European market, for the American market, for the Canadian market even, I think. It was released on the Quintessence label, but it is a Melodia recording. I'm so sorry, I have to change the side on the LP now, so talk about yourself for a bit. Sorry about that. Where were we? All right. Okay. Glinka. I don't know if you can read it, but it says Glinka here. And well, then I've got some problems reading it. Concerto. Well, I don't remember. I'm so bad at this. I feel so bad now. It's a Melodia issue from the 1960s, I think, with some music by Glinka. I think we'll leave it at that for now. Okay, Charles Gounod, highlights from Faust. Decca issue from 1970. London Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Richard Bonynge, or Bonynge, I don't know how he pronounces his name. Oh, here's an oldie. Edvard Grieg, the Norwegian hero, piano concerto in A minor, opus 16, on the label Remington. Felicitas Carrère, pianist, and the Austrian Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Kurt Voss, but this is an American issue from 1953. Remington. This is what the label looks like. Remington, I think both of guns and typewriters when I hear that. I don't think of record labels. Joseph Haydn. I'm quite fond of his string quartet music. This is a lovely LP on the Deutsche Grammophon. String quartet in B flat major and string quartet in C major, played by the Tokyo String Quartet from 1974. Okay. Now we're turning to Gustav Holst, but where I'm not going to show the planets, although that's a remarkable piece of music. I'm showing choral hymns from the Rig Veda, short festival Te Deum, Ode to Death. Well, that sounds very happy and jolly. It's the London Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by Charles Groves, Sir Charles Groves. You've got the Brook Green Suite, played by the English Chamber Orchestra, conducted by Stuart Bedford, and some other music by Holst as well. It was released on the His Master's Voice Green Sleeve English Heritage Series. I got curious about the label now. Oh yeah, this is quite nice. I don't know if you can see. So, all right. You see, I've got lots of records, and often I get surprised about what I have when I actually sit down and look through it. So I found many good things that I like when I went through all the different classical albums. Now we're going to Händel. Difficult to pick one, of course, but I picked a version of Feuerwerksmusik and Sinfonia and Overturen, played by the London Philharmonic Orchestra, the Berliner Philharmoniker, conducted by Raphael Kubelik and Karl Richter. Looks like this. Deutsche Grammophon. And I think I'll take a little break now. I've been looking through these classical albums. You need a break, I need a break. I get back in a minute.